You may enter. His lordship is expecting you.
So, you're messengers from Ratai, huh? I was wondering when someone would turn up. All right, then. Let's hear it.
My respects, Sir Otto. I am Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein, and this is Henry of Skalitz, my escort.
Welcome to Trotsky, gentlemen. I'd greet you standing up as befits, but I'm glad I can even sit at the moment.
I heard you were ambushed by outlaws.
You heard right. Those bastards did a job on me. And I got out luckier than most. Almost all the others were killed, including my page and my surgeon. So there is no one here to heal me, and I will have to inform poor Albert's father that his son died in my service.
I hope your health will soon be restored, sir.
We shall see. But now, you tell me what happened here in Herrgottsnamen. Why did my chamberlain try to hang you, Lord Capon?
In truth, the welcome we got from your Master Chamberlain was somewhat... how shall I put it? Well, it was somewhat unexpected. I must say, it was the first time I had a noose around my neck, and it wasn't the most pleasant experience.
Please, accept my apologies, sir. And that of my chamberlain, too. Is that not so, Ulrich? I must say in his defense that he had my orders not to admit anyone to the castle, and to be cautious.
I understand, sir. At home, some bandits got into Tamberg by subterfuge, and it cost us a lot of effort to reconquer it.
I'm glad you understand. Anyway, let us leave this misunderstanding aside and get to the point. As far as I'm aware, Ratai showed no interest in negotiations before, either with me or with the League of Lords.
True. Our houses have thus far stood on opposite sides.
I should say so. Attacking Brno and Jihlava together with that renegade Sokol of Lemberg hardly inspired our sympathy.
Some attack towns, others prefer to abduct the king and intimidate him.
Wenzel der Faule, a lazy, incompetent king who neither wants to rule nor to surrender the privileges the throne provides. But let us leave that aside. Tell me, what does Sir Hanush have on his mind? I am all ears.
Unfortunately, during the ambush, we lost the letter we were carrying, so you'll have to make do with my word of mouth.
All right. Go ahead and speak.
In brief, Sir Hanush, Sir Radzig, and other lords take the view that the situation has got out of control. And that's of no benefit to anyone in Bohemia, neither Wenceslas's supporters or the League of Lords. King Sigismund's actions will not lead to instilling greater order than under King Wenceslas. Quite the contrary.
Let us say that maybe. What arises from it?
Sir Hanush and the other lords on our side are interested in knowing what the stance of the League of Lords is at this moment, and whether they haven't perhaps reevaluated some things.
In other words, whether I might betray Sigismund.
Well, betray is a strong word. We came to you, Sir Otto, because you're the leading voice of the League of Lords. I expect there are also lords among your ranks who are considering how to find a way out of this sticky situation. And for the Kingdom of Bohemia, it would certainly be better if our paths were to join rather than parting.
Your companion speaks like a diplomat, Sir Hans. However, the question is whether it's possible to join fire with water and end up with anything but nasty smoke. Nonetheless, Sir Hanush and Sir Radzik are right. There is disorder and anarchy in the land. Bandits riding roughshod all over. As we all know, to our cost.
We've had plenty of experience of that at home too, sir. Only a short time ago we had to deal with a similar band.
Then you will surely understand that before I begin debating who would be the better king, I must sweep my own doorstep. Only I'm damned if I know how to do that, since those bastards have wiped out half of my garrison, including my captain.
If I may be so bold, sir, you're not the only one. We also have a score to settle with them, so Henry and I will gladly help you.
Is that so? Now that is what I call the words of a knight, Sir Hans.
Right now, we've got a common enemy, so we have common interests too.
So then, sir, may we be of assistance to you?
Indeed you may. Perhaps in the end we may really find some common ground. I need to muster sufficient reserves to deal with those outlaws once and for all. I'm summoning my vassals here to Trotsky. And since I don't have many men left to send as messengers, I will gladly accept your help.
Just say the word, sir. Where should we go?
You'll go to Nebakov, a small castle, or rather a fortress among the cliffs. The yeoman there, Jaromir Nebak, is an old hardhat and may not be very willing to fulfill his obligations. It would be useful if an eloquent noble like yourself visited him to explain him clearly why I need his whole garrison.
Who is this Lord Nebak?
The lord of a smaller house with not much in the way of estates, just a fortress and lands, but he also owns a mill that provides a significant part of his income. His children are grown up. His daughter married well, thanks to Sir Otto. His son is away from the domain, dealing with duties. Sir Otto helped him to acquire an official position. In short, the House of Nebak is more than beholden to Sir Otto for his magnanimous help and support.
Thank you, Ulrich. Nevertheless, I suspect Jaromir will not be keen to charge into battle. But that is of little consequence. He has a few good men who will be useful. That will do us. If he delivers, I will regard his obligation as fulfilled.
What should we do if he's unwilling to heed what we say?
His house has always been loyal to mine. And it has always been more than worth their while. So tell him that I would like it to remain so. I do not expect any great obstacles, but it would be wise to show Sir Jaromir respect by sending him someone of status. He will take his time over being persuaded, and then concur, as he always has done.
I'll get to him somehow, sir.
I expect nothing less from you.
Is the route safe?
As I said, the fortress is in the wilderness amongst the cliffs. There are many places where outlaws may be hiding, so watch out.
Don't worry, sir. I have Henry here by my side for such situations.
Is that all, sir?
It's no simple task. Knowing Jaromir, if I sent a common messenger, he'd come back with a boot print on his backside. Dealing with the lower nobility can be tricky. They tend to be fixated on their own somewhat fragile status.
We'll take care of it, sir. Count on us.
All right. We'll head out as soon as possible. Let's not delay our diplomatic mission unnecessarily.
Very well. I think that is all for now. The Chamberlain will show you where you can put your heads down, and he will supply you with horses. And once we have resolved this little digression, we shall talk about your own mission.
Thank you, sir.
May I ask something, Sir Otto?
Oh. Ask away, young man.
When you were ambushed, did you see those bandits? Would you recognize any of them?
Henry, don't start with that again.
Why do you ask?
The thing is, when we were ambushed, I believe I saw among them one of the men we ran up against at home.
Oh. What did he look like? Do you know his name?
He's called Istvan Toth, a Hungarian noble. He wears black armor. A stocky fella, around 40.
I've already told you that's nonsense. How would he be here? You only saw him from a distance, from behind. You're imagining it.
And why does this Toth interest you, young man?
He was the leader of a band that made trouble for us in Sasau. And he has something that belongs to me.
Interesting. Interesting. But I must disappoint you. I saw no one of that description.
Thank you, sir. And sorry. I had to ask.
I understand. And now I shall entrust you to the care of Uri here. And I shall look forward to the good tidings you bring me from Nebakov. Go with God, gentlemen.
Thank you for everything, sir. The Lord be with you.
There will be time enough yet for social niceties. Now there are more practical matters to deal with. Sir Otto has generously agreed to accommodate Lord Capon in one of his chambers. And you, Henry, shall also be accommodated, as befits your station. There, your, equipment shall also be returned to you, and you'll find your horse in the stable. Nevertheless, his lordship takes the view that, as a noble's escort, you should have a befitting mount, and therefore he has kindly decided that you may take one of our horses, if you so wish. Gentlemen, follow me. So, Sir Hans, allow me to...
Hold on, Sir Ulrich. If you think everything is settled between us, and we're going to act like nothing happened, then you're mistaken.
Sir?
You were going to have me executed a short while ago. I expect a proper apology.
Then please accept my apology once more, sir. But given the circumstances...
Given the circumstance? What circumstances?
Sir, poaching is a capital offence.
And are you the king? That you can hand down death sentences? No, you are not. What's more, you had plenty of reasons to realise it wasn't a good idea.
Sir, I could not have realised that.
You couldn't have realised! Yes, you could, but then you wouldn't have been able to play the Lord and stage private executions.
Sir, once more I apologise. And now, please allow me to show you to your quarters.
I wouldn't dream of inconveniencing you. I'll find my quarters by myself. Henry, once you're done with that annoying fool, get your horse and we'll meet at the gate.
Well, it seems Lord Capon will not be requiring my services anymore today.
Please excuse him. He's been through a lot, as I'm sure you understand.
It is understandable, of course. I was just hoping that our relationship would be a bit warmer after that, regrettable misunderstanding. Nevertheless, welcome to Trotsky, the finest and biggest castle you shall ever see. Rumor has it that the castle was built on the jaws of hell, and that we're sometimes plagued by demons here. But don't believe a word of it. It's just idle talk to excuse the servants' laziness and incompetence. It's demanding enough keeping everything here running smoothly without any of that. It requires a man of exceptional qualities and talents. By the way, this place is a maze for strangers. It's very easy to get lost. The jail cells are down there. But I believe you are already fairly well acquainted with that part of the castle, aren't you?
All too well, thanks.
Here it is. You'll find a bed inside, opposite the door, and a chest where we put your belongings. You'll find some new clothing there, a little gift from our gracious lord, to ensure you're not mistaken for a beggar again. Once you're settled in and properly dressed, stop by the stables. They're beyond the gate, down the path. Ask for Kabat. He was supposed to prepare a horse and tack for you. Or tell him you'll keep your own if you insist. Then he'll give you proper tack at least, so you don't disgrace us.
Thanks. I'm grateful.
As you should be. So, you and I are finished, and I can finally attend to some proper work, so this castle doesn't fall on our heads.
Good doggy. Good boy.
I'm always careful.
God be with you. Keep the peace, and we'll stay friends.
God be with you. What kind of tasks do you do for Lord von Burgov?
Rare ones, lad. His lordship spends little time at Trotsky. As the royal chamberlain, he has to be in Prague most of the time.
What does the Royal Chamberlain do?
I understand, lad. You're asking about his authority, eh?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know anything at all about him.
Sir Otto von Burgo is the royal chamberlain, subcamerarius in Latin. He's one of the 9 most powerful officials in the kingdom. He manages the royal towns and monasteries, approves the councillors and abbots in them, and appoints the royal judges.
Why does Sir Otto have to be in Prague so often?
Because that's the seat of the royal court, and our lord is one of the highest royal officials. Praga caput regni, young man. Prague is the heart of the kingdom. All the political threads come together there. It's where they handle administration of the country. If you want to be somebody, you have to go to Prague, or to Moravia, to that traitor Jobst of Luxembourg.
Excuse me, but why do you consider Margrave Jobst a traitor?
And what else should I call a person who only looks out for any chance to benefit himself?
But now he's fighting for King Wenceslas, isn't he?
Jobst has changed sides so often it's impossible to keep track. But, to give him credit where credit is due, unlike our king, he's a great politician. Wenceslas wasn't even able to hold on to the imperial crown that his father passed on to him before he died. Yes, indeed. One day that bloody Margrave Jobst of ours is going to make it big. He might even become the emperor himself.
Why doesn't Lord von Burgov free our King Wenceslas from captivity in Vienna? He's powerful enough for that, isn't he?
It's politics, boy. Pure and simple.
I understand, but could you explain it a bit more for me? Why did they take our king captive? And why did the Czech lords let Sigismund spread all over the country like a plague?
That's complicated. Back during the reign of both King's father, Emperor Charles, the nobles gained great wealth and power. And when young Wenceslas came to the throne, he didn't have enough experience or courage to stand up to them. That's why he surrounded himself with faithful lower lords and entrusted them with all the royal offices.
I reckon the high nobility didn't like that, eh?
You're damn right they didn't. They conspired against the king and established their League of Lords. That started a protracted war, dragging the king's cousins, Prokop and Jobst of Luxembourg, into it. But King Wenceslas was stubborn, unyielding, and, unfortunately, also often drunk. He preferred to run away from politics to wine, women, and the hunt. It was only a matter of time before the lords conspired with his brother, the Hungarian King Sigismund. A year ago, they got together and captured Wenceslas in Prague, and Sigismund had the royal castles occupied by his allies. They secretly took the king to Vienna, where his brother is still holding him firmly under lock and key.
So von Burgov and the others want Sigismund to be king?
Not at all. Soon they discovered they'd miscalculated, and that Sigismund wanted the whole country for himself. And now, they can't agree on what to do about it. I think that's why Lord von Burkhoff received your message. He's trying to find new allies among the lower nobility.
Who are among Wenceslas's opponents?
Who do you think? All the nobles in the League of Lords, of course. The most powerful are Henry of Rosenberg, Henry of Hraditz, Boresh of Riesenberg, Bohuslav of Schwamberg, and our Sir Otto von Burghoff, too, so far.
But we serve Sir Hanush of Lipa and Radzig Kobyla.
Exactly. They're representatives of the lower nobility, who always stood faithfully by Wenceslas because he handed out royal positions to them.
Ah, damn politics.
On the contrary, boy, it's only thanks to politics that von Burghoff didn't send you two to the gallows straight away.
I heard some interesting books from Prague have arrived at the castle. There's one I'd like to borrow. An alchemist's cookbook. A sand-coloured cover, embossed.
Yes, several rare and astonishing books have arrived from Prague. But why are you interested in an alchemist's cookbook, of all things?
I've heard there are some interesting ideas in it. Every alchemist is in dogged pursuit of wisdom, especially those from Prague.
Perhaps you know more about that book than I do. Well, I'll have to disappoint you. Lord Nickvard Libak helped me sort the new books at the time, and the one you're looking for caught his attention. He left with it before I could even discover what it's about. All I remember is the author's initials, B.B. I'm fairly benevolent when it comes to lending books, and I appreciate Nickvard's help, but he's had it borrowed for an excessive amount of time now. I'd like to ask him to return it, but he's been avoiding me.
Why would Nickvard suddenly be avoiding you?
I have a sneaking suspicion. It seems Nick Vard lost the book. I've warned him repeatedly not to carry borrowed books around with him, but to leave them in his chamber and read them there. But Nick Vard is old and stubborn, and this is how things turn out.
Well, it's still just a book. Paper and leather.
You say that? To a scribe?
I thought there were more precious things. Like a human life.
We could have a long discussion comparing the value of a Takovite peasant's life with, say, a treatise on physics by Hildegard von Bingen. But I digress. As I said, Nick Vard is intentionally avoiding me. But I've made headway. I've managed to find 3 people who've spoken to him recently. Bertha the cook, Regina the maid, and Hirsch the hand.
I reckon those aren't the only 3 people that know him.
I'm surprised that he's ever spoken to anyone but myself. Nick Vard is a loner. Which is also why I suspect something bad has happened. Now that he's decided to leave his shell, that is. But I'm afraid that's all I've managed to find out. Since Lord von Berkove's arrival, I've been preoccupied with other matters.
I'll help you. I'll ask all 3 and see if they lead me to Nick Vard.
Many thanks. If you aren't sure what to do, stop by and we'll discuss what you found out.
I won't keep you any longer. About that lost alchemy book.
Please tell me you found it.
First, I need to find the people who might have run into Nick Vard.
Who exactly?
You said Nick Vard is avoiding you. Where at the castle does he live? Are there any places he frequents?
Nick Vard lives like a hermit here at Trotsky. Like a ghost. His chambers are in the Crone's Tower. But God knows if he's ever slept there. He took his meals down in the Crone's kitchen. Lately, I've often seen him talking to Regina in the Knight's Hall, in the Maiden, or looking out the hall window. I caught sight of him a few times with Hirsch at the transport yard below the castle.
So I just have to hope I run into him somewhere.
Nick Vard always just shows up. I've rarely ever found him on my own. I'm not surprised you can't find him anywhere, since I've been trying myself.
Where is Bertha?
Bertha cooks for us in the Crone's kitchen. She's there most days. If you can't find her there, try the first house in the lower castle, across from the door to the dungeon.
Where is Regina?
As Lord von Berkoff's personal maid, she'll likely be somewhere in the Maiden's Palace, perhaps in the Knight's Hall, or on the floor above it, near the Lord's chambers. She even sleeps there.
Where is Hirsch, the stable boy?
I've seen him with Hirsch at the transport yard below the castle. He sleeps in the house directly across from it. I don't know him much, though.
That's everything I needed to know.
They didn't ask what you want it for, did they?
God be with you, sir.
I'm looking for Nick Vard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Well, I'm waiting for Lord Libac to stop by. I brewed him another phial of medicine, but I don't even know if the last one helped. I told him to stop by for another one soon. I reckon he must be feeling better.
Nick Vard needed medicine? For what?
I can't say. I promised Lord Libac his secret is safe with me, as well as his phial of medicine.
Oh, come now. Nick Vard misplaced an important book somewhere. A sort of alchemist cookbook. I need to find it.
I remember the recipes by heart. And Lord Libac's secret is certainly worth more than any book.
Listen, Bertha. I truly respect your honesty. I'm in the service of a nobleman myself, And I know what's expected of us in cases like these, whether it's Nick Vard's illness or political machinations over the fate of our kingdom. Both carry equal weight when spoken about behind closed doors, I'd say. I stand by my principles in matters like that.
Lord Libac's troubles can hardly compare to what you're talking about. It's really quite a trifle in comparison.
So you'll tell me then?
Well, it's a common potion for a bellyache. Just better tasting. It helps your meals go down easier and come out slower the other end. In that regard, Lord Libac had, well, how to say it? Everything came out much too quickly.
Nick Vard didn't have time to run down the stairs, eh?
It was in the privy down below the crone, by the training ground below the guardhouse. I helped him clean his hose and made him the medicine, and I promised that I wouldn't say anything. Lord Libac is quite particular about the impression he makes on the young maids, you know. He didn't want this little episode to put them off. That's why he didn't use the privy near the maids' quarters, though it's closer to his chamber, but to the arena instead, and only when there weren't any soldiers around. But this time, it caught up with him.
Is that all?
What else is there to say? That the entire time he looked as if he'd done the worst thing in the world. It happens to the best of us. And I told him as much then. I'm just surprised he never came back for another file. I must say, he did look as if the fate of the entire castle was suddenly on his shoulders.
I don't know if this is going to do me any good.
Well, you could have found a worse clue.
Thanks anyway.
Greetings, sir.
Greetings. Do you need something?
Do you know where I can find Nick Vard? The scribe said you might know.
Erazim is suddenly interested in Nick Vard and me. You don't say. But when I need him to read something for me, he never has the time. I'm sorry.
I was asking about Nick Vard.
Aye, I heard you. Say, can you read?
I can.
In that case, would you mind reading this message I have from Nick Vard?
Show me. Dear Mistress of the Chambers. What is it?
Oh, what I wouldn't give to get messages from someone else. Say, Lord Capon. Never mind. Read on. Though I reckon it interests you more than me.
Persevere. We shall soon escape the dungeon of those two women. Cursed fate, however, has placed an obstacle in my way. The heat of the Lightbringer's potion is working, and I can feel my insides being reborn. But when the last remnants of old age left my body, something else was washed away with them.
How much longer is it?
Not much. My damn clumsiness has sent all of the Lightbringer's secrets into the void, but fear not, I shall get them back. May this be the first task on the road to your liberation. That's it.
Beautiful.
True enough. Nick Vard has a flair for the dramatic.
My, that's Liebach for you.
But what does it mean? Can you explain any of it to me?
Lord Liebach has taken a liking to me. I suggested to him it wasn't proper for a noble to have an affair with a maid. He thought I meant he was too old for me. But then he found what he calls the Lightbringer's Potion Book. He said it would light a flame in him that would burn out all that's old. So I suppose it worked. Hooray!
I know the book he's talking about, but what does he mean, into the void?
Look, can we stop talking about this? I feel a little uncomfortable here talking about some old lovelorn nobleman.
I understand. Just one more thing, please. When was the last time you saw Nick Vard? And where?
The last time was in the Knight's Hall, but that was a long time ago. I found that message a few days ago. Hard to say where he's off to.
Thanks anyway.
I'm always glad to see polite people like you. God be with you.
God be with you.
God be with you.
How's the watch going?
All right.
Did you hear about what happened at the Big Wheel? Yeah, the place by the Jeherovka Street.
Good day to you.
I'm here for some horse tack. I hear you have something for me.
Well, fuck me blind. You got out of jail yesterday and today you've got a horse. Fuck, I wouldn't mind having your kind of luck. But you're fucking things up for me and making a mess. And I don't want to get a whipping on your account. I've got the tack ready, but I've been ordered to show you our herring first. You can take him, they said. So kindly take a look at him in the stable here and tell me if you want him or not. See you later, my friend.
I took a look at Herring.
And?
I'll take him.
Good. He ain't the fastest, but he'll work his little heart out and he'll keep going for fucking ages. And he's a well-behaved, smart animal as well. An honest stock, too. From the Sameen stud farm. Not one of them stolen nags that's seen around these parts. I've heard that wind is blowing from them dodgy nomads.
There are nomads around here.
Aye. I hear their camp is somewhere in the rocks by Rock Tower Pond. They've got horses there. God knows how they came by them.
Well, useful to know. So I can avoid such places.
Well, let's not forget about your horse. He's there in the stables, so go and get him. You do know how to ride, don't you?
Don't worry. I'm right at home with horses. I learned to ride with cumans on my tail, and arrows whistling past my head. A tough school it was.
Well, I'll be damned. I never heard such a thing before. But even an experienced horseman like you needs equipment, as you well know. You can tack him up yourself, right?
Sure. Thanks.
Take care, sir.
Bought a lovely ewe doe the other day for a great price. What good's a boat?
God bless.
I'm looking for Nick Vard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Hey, Nick. I mean, Lord Liebach. I almost forgot about him. I suppose his task wasn't so pressing.
What task?
Nick Liebach, that is, entrusted me with a big task. quite a while back. He's a castle lord. Obviously, I had to obey him. But then I heard what another castle lord was planning, von Berghoff, and I had to obey him even more. He says there's a war on. So here I am, ready to go off to battle.
I need to know more about what Nick Vard asked you to do.
No. There are new rules now. You have to prove you're not a spy.
I understand, sure. Just tell me what you want, and let's not delay.
A sword.
Sword? What sword?
A long and very good one to help me deal with other spies. If you bring it to me, I'll know you're not an enemy spy who should fear me. Forge one, buy one, or even steal one for me. Maybe from one of the guards at the training ground or down by the gate. During the day, they're not in the towers anyway.
Steal a sword? That sounds like something a spy would do.
Not a spy who wants to help von Berghoff's most loyal servant. By servant, I mean me. See, once I get a sword, I'll fill you in on Nick Vard's task.
You wanted a sword? So look at what I got for you.
That's perfect! Lovely! I don't think you're a spy. Can't say for sure, but you seem alright.
What about Nick Vard, then?
Nick Vard asked me to do something for him. He must have admired my devotion to Lord von Berghoff. Either way, Nick looked troubled and not very healthy. He wanted me to fetch him something he lost outside the castle, and I told him I would. At least I could check to see if anyone was sneaking around about the castle. But then Nick Vard clutched his belly and ran off. So I never found out what he wanted, or from where.
That's all?
Aye. If you run into Nick Vard, ask him if he still needs it or whether he found it himself. I'll be going into war soon, so I don't have time for these things, see?
I'll tell him. You must be Nick Vard, eh? Poor wretch. How many more times am I gonna have to poke around in corpses and shit for that damn cradle?
Good day to you.
I have the book for you.
Well, I must admit, I haven't had an apprentice this handy in a long time. Zinnik has nothing on you.
I didn't even look inside.
You had a treasure like this in your hands, and you weren't even curious to have a peek? Well, I suppose it's not for everyone. I'll have a look for myself. This really is something. But why is it all covered in shit, for fuck's sake?
Let's just say the scribe didn't have it. It actually wasn't even in the castle. Under it, really.
Oh, refining saltpeter. Boil wine and alum. Grind. Ah, of course, it makes sense. I'll study the rest on the way. Well, the last chapter of our story of knowledge awaits us. The grand finale.
So what now? Do you have another job for me?
Charcoal. Sulfur from Hermes Trismegistos. Saltpeter from the carcass pit. As long as Black Bertolt didn't make any mistakes in his calculations, we have everything.
What Bertolt? Oh, God damn it, Crazer, what's going on here? I'm tired of flying back and forth like a rag on a stick. I won't be led around by the nose. Will you finally tell me what's going on?
Believe it or not, all this secrecy had its reasons. But now I don't have to hide anything from you. It's time. We'll meet with the others in the lair, and there you'll learn the whole truth. You go ahead. I'm going to get a few things ready here.
All right, then. I hope you keep your word this time.
Ka!
Go!
Quick!
Oh. What'll happen now?
Our last supper, with only one but very filling course, awaits us.
Crazel, please. For once, just once, tell me what's actually going on.
And rob myself of enjoying your blissful ignorance? Not a chance. Tell me yourself. What do you think is going to happen?
Like always. You'll send me off somewhere to look for something, and you'll have a fancy speech to go with it.
He knows you now as well as we do, Miller.
I do tend to do that, true enough. But no, today things will be different. Bonnie will start today. At least I'll finally see if she understood my teachings. Bonnie?
First of all, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the whole gang for all the work you've done. We could never have finished the job without you. We found 2 new partners, you and Monarch here. It's good to have someone to rely on. So, it's time we started being honest with you, so you can finally learn the whole truth.
Not yet. Let's pull up that uppity bastard's leg a bit longer. That's the fun part!
No, Z-Neck. First of all, I'd rather like them legs of his. And secondly, I think we've put him through enough suffering. This whole time, you've been collecting ingredients and clues for us. But, so you wouldn't go nosing around, we always told you it was for something different than it actually was.
The miller here calls it tackets.
Tactics, you idiot. And everything worked out according to plan. So today we're finally close to our great success. With the help of Hermes Trismegistos and his successors, we'll finally complete the dream of all alchemists. Our Magnum Opus.
Exactly, Bonnie.
Magnum Opus. A great work of alchemy. You're trying to make the Philosopher's Stone.
I see you've learned something after all. But no, the Philosopher's Stone isn't our goal.
Let's see then, Henry. What is it you think we're making here?
Some kind of weapon?
Well, Henry's not too far from the truth after all, don't you think? Actually, he's pretty spot on. Although weapons were our last order of business. Let's start at the beginning. My father was a miller as well, but I was never much interested in the trade. Even as a young boy, I loved running around Lower Samine and investigating everything living and dead. And I had a lot of questions about everything. Then my mother, God rest her soul, decided it'd be best for me to go to study in Prague. As soon as I grew up and gained a bit of sense, I packed my bags and left.
So you went to a university in Prague? The son of a miller?
Why not? My father worked his arse off, and he had the coin for it, miller or not. I met a lot of remarkable people at the university, and my thirst for knowledge kept growing. But in the end, it only took a year of all that pretentious, scholarly blathering and hypocritical nonsense for me to realize I wouldn't learn anything proper there. Most of the students and masters are just a bunch of dogmatic fools. They have their own truth, and those who want to know more or ask the wrong questions fall into disfavor, as was my case.
You left your studies?
And I'm glad I did. The most important science is not subject to any religious dogma. And, of course, it's not taught at any university.
You mean alchemy?
Exactly. The art of combination and dissolution. The key to understanding the very nature of the world. There's only one queen of science. Alchemy. I returned to the mill in Lower Samine and started a new life.
Keep it short, Crazel. I just want to know what it is you're doing here. I don't need to know your life story.
You're the one always asking questions. But fine. Straight to the point. Once I tried mixing sulfur, charcoal, and saltpeter. I had a candle burning next to me. A gust of wind scattered the mixture, and all of a sudden, bang! I almost shit myself, I tell you. But then I realized I'd unwittingly created a miracle. Explosive black powder.
So I was right. You're making weapons.
No, it's about much more than that. We're all in on it now.
I couldn't continue my experiments on my own, but Bonnie and Zinnik did a few little jobs for me.
So he initiated us.
But we just still didn't know how to do it right and not blow ourselves up in the process.
And we used up a huge amount of saltpeter and sulfur.
By the way, the manuscript from that Hermes Trismegistos was our shopping list and price list for material from Kuttenberg.
Only we didn't know correct proportions. I looked up a few of my former fellow students and brought it up with them. And we found out that before us, some monk had already made the discovery.
Some fella called Black Bertold. And that he even started writing a book called
Feuerwerk book.
We can believe our luck when we found out there's a copy of it right here at Trotsky.
And you know the rest.
It's a discovery that will change history. In the right hands, it can make miracles happen. All it takes is a spark, and a storm of fire will sweep away the old world order. It will wipe out stupidity and ignorance, once and for all.
And what will happen now?
As I said, we're about to have our last supper on our journey to satisfy our hunger for knowledge. A feast of smoke and fire. Black Bertold never finished his book, because he never had enough ingredients for his last great experiment. But now, thanks to you, we do. We can finally finish Bertold's work and finish his book. We'll see with our own eyes what a barrel of black powder can do. I hope you're as excited as I am.
I've heard enough. Now I want to see that with my own eyes.
Let's do it then. Bonnie, is everything ready?
Indeed it is. We can get started. Long live the beautiful new world.
Looks like it ain't working.
I'd say it works just fine.
This will change history.
What? I can't hear a thing. But I'd say it works just fine.
As long as you listen to me and keep the proportions right, you won't fuck it up.
Maybe 9 feet deep. No splinters, white ash.
Crazel?
The fuse didn't catch immediately.
I told you there's no need to dip it in resin and wax. Better to use rushes boiled in wine.
Very well, if you say so. We'll try rushes next time.
I'd also like to take a look at that book, Crazel.
In due time, honey. In due time.